Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and Apple surprisingly released iOS 12.4.2. This is available for iPhone 5S, 6, or 6 Plus, and supporting iPads as well. I'll list them over here. But this particular update is more of a security update and maybe a small performance fix. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Now, depending on which version you're actually updating from, the size of the update can vary greatly. You'll see on the iPhone 6 that I have here, it's 2.36 gigabytes. So it can vary greatly depending on which version you're updating from. On the iPad Air first generation that I have here, you'll see it's 301.6 megabytes. And this update says it includes improvements, provides important security updates, and is recommended for all users. Now, before we talk about what's actually new in it, let's take a look at the build number. You'll see the build number is 16G114. And the interesting thing about this particular build is there is no IPSW or update file for devices that support iOS 13. So if you have an iPhone 7, 8, 10, any of those, you cannot get 12.4.2. It's just not available. So what they've done is gone back and patched a security vulnerability that's in the 5S, the 6, the 6 Plus, supported iPads, but also they've pushed the same security update to macOS and watchOS. So watchOS gets updated to 5.3.2 if you have an older watch on Apple Watch Series 1 and Apple Watch Series 2 until they get watchOS 6, which comes a little bit later for some reason. And then also macOS 10.14 was released to include the same security update. So I don't think this is specific to jailbreakers. And so what it says is a remote attacker may be able to cause unexpected application termination or arbitrary code execution. And so that hopefully fixes whatever that vulnerability was found in, where people could remotely access your device and run code and maybe take control of it. Now, that may or may not refer to a jailbreak, but I don't think it's specific to that just because of those macOS and watchOS updates. Now, as far as performance and changes like that, I really would not expect much of a change. In fact, I don't think you're going to see very much. And also, if you're part of that jailbreak community, I wouldn't update anyway. In fact, my iPhone 6 is actually on iOS 10. So you'll see it looks very different. I like to keep older devices on the older updates, but I have tried this on the iPad Air, which this is running that version, and it seems to work fine. It does feel a little bit faster, not very much, but a little bit. Now, other than the security update that I've already mentioned, there isn't any physical changes that I could find. I could find no one talking about anything they've found, and you'll see it does seem to actually work a little bit better than it did before. The settings menu does have a little bit of stutter from time to time, but it's much more usable than it was prior to this update. So they may have tweaked something in the background. If I go into Safari, for example, you'll see it's a little bit jittery here, but much better than it was before with the iPad Air. So whatever it is, I would say it's a little bit of a performance boost, but I wouldn't say it's a phenomenal update and to expect a bunch of changes. This is more of a security patch, and that's it. That's it for iOS 12.4.2, and I'm glad to see Apple's actually continuing to update security and maybe fix some bugs that are in the background, although they're not really talking about that. But that's really it. Let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below. If you'd like to get your hands on this wallpaper, of course, I'll link it in the description as I always do. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and hit that notification bell if you'd like to see more of these videos as soon as they're released. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.